Morning, Sully. How are you?
Pretty good, man. You must be a bigwig. We got you on here 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I love the show. I'm getting ready to take my wife out to breakfast, and you provide the soothing sounds on a Saturday morning.
Nice. The soothing sounds of Sully. We got to tone it down a little bit after the high energy Tom P and Rack and Fin Radio. He gets a little fired up.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. He has been a South Jersey legend for quite some time. I actually remember listening to Tom P when I was a teenager. So
really,
the fact that he's still gracing the airwaves just shows you a little something about his longevity.
So tell us more about the Christmas in July. I know we talked about this last week, but for anybody who wasn't able to tune in last week, we wanted to really hammer home. We got one more weekend of this going on, Christmas in July event to help out the Atlantic City Rescue Mission.
Yeah, for sure. So everything goes down on Monday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Golden Nugget, Atlantic City Atrium. We're really, really excited, raising supplies for the Atlantic City Rescue Mission, an organization that's been servicing our area for over 50 years. If you bring on Monday to the Golden Nugget personal hygiene product, toilet paper, napkins, paper towels, cleaning supplies, a dire need for bottled water, if you bring any of those goods to the Golden Nugget Atlantic City, you'll have a chance to be entered into a really cool raffle. I'm sitting in my office at home looking at some of the prizes. The Philadelphia Eagles just sent an incredible signed football by star defender Fletcher Cox. We have club box seats to the Sixers, Phillies tickets, Flyers tickets. We have a really, really cool memorabilia item that I'll reveal on Monday from the UFC. HBO has sent some really cool signed boxing gloves from stars such as Canelo Alvarez and Andre Ward. So just a really cool opportunity for us to rally together as community residents, as citizens, to try to help fight back. You know, in this day and age, if you go on your Twitter feed or your Facebook, you're likely to be hit in the face with a lot of tweets about political things and some really nasty things going on in the world. But I've always believed, first and foremost, in the power of people. And I think with the support of Golden Nugget, East Coast Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and, of course, 97.3 ESPN, we're showing the power of people.
Now, Dave, how long did it take to get this idea from just an idea to what it is now?
Well, it's funny. When I came back to take the job with the Sixers in November, I knew I wanted to do something right around the holidays. So Mike Gill, your counterpart there at 97.3, was really instrumental in helping me pull together our first supplies drive, which took place in December at Gregory's in Summers Point. And on 2 weeks' notice, we pulled together that event, and we're overwhelmed. We filled an entire van and truck with supplies, and we're able to make a real sizable impact for the mission. So Mike and I kind of collaborated again earlier this year and said we have to find another time. And with the great people at 97.3, Mike thought July made a lot of sense. We could tie it to a Christmas in July campaign. And from there, we got to work. So it came together over the course of the last 8 months, and hopefully this is just the beginning of what we can do together. I have to, Sully, give a lot of credit to guys like Mike, Pete Thompson, Joe Kelly, Rachel from over at Cat Country, and obviously Mike Rubel and his team. Town Square Media has done just a fantastic job taking this idea and really helping me amplify it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Sixers ownership, Josh Harris, David Blitzer, and then our CEO, Scott O'Neill. They've really been behind this project from the start, encouraging me to use some of the downtime we have here in the summer to get behind this.
And you mentioned the Sixers, and obviously it's a great event for them to get behind. And as a professional team, that's part of what you do is impact the local communities, the surrounding communities to whatever city you're in. And that obviously they go out of their way to do these kind of community events. And it's great to see professional teams understand the value that their brand has when it comes to getting people organized and getting together to kind of get supplies together for something like this.
No, Sully, that's a really good point. When I was going through the process, when I was still at the UFC, of having this conversation with the Sixers, their commitment to the community was just a fantastic drawing point for me. At the UFC, I was on the road a lot. We did some really, really good things in the community, particularly in Las Vegas, but I never felt like I was grounded enough to be able to make a sizable enough impact in the Vegas community. So when I was considering this opportunity, I knew I wanted to do everything I could to find an organization that would support me in my quest to help, my friends in South Jersey. It's been a really tumultuous last 10 years with the economic crisis, the drug epidemic that has hit young people. And the reality is, with all due respect to our politicians, I just don't think we can rely on them solely to make the type of tangible change it's going to require to get this area back on its feet. We're starting to see some of the signs, the casino projects that are underway and the new restaurants and the different companies interested in coming here. So that's an encouraging sign. But every single day, folks like us just need to rally together and find ways to help. That's the beauty, I think, of the power of the platform of sports. Sports has a really cool way of uniting us all, regardless of race, gender, socioeconomic class. It has a way of pulling us together that it goes beyond the hardwood. It goes beyond the pitch. It goes beyond the baseball diamond. We have to find ways to leverage that for the greater good. And I think, on Monday at the Golden Nugget Atlantic City, the Christmas and July supplies drive is a really, really fun example of that.
Now, Dave, we're talking with Dave Sholler, Communications Director for the Philadelphia 76ers and one of the organizers for the Christmas in July event. And, Dave, I was reading, I didn't get a chance to talk to you about this last week, but I was reading before the show, doing a little bit of research on you. I believe it was Philly Voice, if I'm not mistaken. Great story about your upbringing and why you're so passionate about this. And talk a little bit about that and the way you grew up. And I know your old man had some problems with addiction, and that really impacted your family in a big way. So if you don't mind, tell our audience a little bit about the background story as to why this is such a big part of your life.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Sully. There was a writer from Philly Voice named Joe Santoliquido who did a feature on me in November, and it was supposed to be about my PR career. And he asked me a question on the personal level, and as someone who makes his career in communications, I'm supposed to know how to dance around those questions. So I went right in and started to
made for a great story, let me tell you.
Divulge some of the personal things that have happened in my life. My father, growing up, was a hardcore addict. First with alcohol and then with opiates, and his addiction really put us in some trying circumstances, financially, emotionally, and at times physically. I grew up in a trailer park in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, and everything that we did as kids, me and my three siblings, was a grind, whether it was trying to get by or trying to get to school or whatever it may be. And I just remember some of the most trying circumstances when my father was in the deepest stages of his addiction. And a lot of times it was a coach, it was a teacher, it was a neighbor, it was someone who provided a glimmer of hope for us that there was light at the end of that tunnel. And I'm proud to tell you today that my siblings are all very successful. I've had the great fortune of being involved in professional sports going on 11 years now. And I've just learned that it's the power of people that can create those glimmers of hope. And I hope that through events like this on Monday, I'm able to pay that forward. To me, this is simply an exercise in paying it forward to all the people that helped me from the days that, we were barely making lot rent at the trailer park to today, where I live in a really, nice neighborhood in Mays Landing, surrounded by great friends and family, building a family of my own and building a career of my own. It would not be possible, Sully, if it wasn't for those people. There's a phrase in life that I hate. I hate when athletes use it. I hate when entertainers use it. I hate when average Joes use it. I don't believe anyone in this world is self-made. I hate when people say it. It drives me nuts because I can think down the line along the way of adversity, circumstances, opportunities where someone reached out and helped. And I really think it's important that in this day and age in the world, we show gratitude to those people.
Talking with Dave Sholler, Communications Director for the Philadelphia 76ers, also one of the main organizers of the Christmas in July event that's going on here with the radio station. Dave, what's been, we're coming up on the final weekend of this. What's been your evaluation of how it's gone the last 4 weeks? Obviously, this is a big push we've made here at the radio station to get people involved with this. Has it been what you thought it would be, better?
I think it's been better. I know how people how busy people can be with families and with jobs and careers and all the things that go along with that. So to see the station there on Tilton Road in Northfield accepting donations like you guys have been and filling the lobby, to hear the response for East Coast Roofing and Siding's location in Mays Landing, to hear the buzz around the event for Golden Nugget on Monday, it's just, again, I keep using this catchphrase, but it means something to me, which is the power of people. I've been pleasantly surprised from all the people that have reached out on Facebook, folks that maybe I haven't connected with in 4 or 5 years, getting their companies behind this event. You know, I'm equally excited, too, that people are asking questions about the next rescue mission event that I'm involved in, and that's the Summer Gala. That's August 10th at the Claridge, where we're trying to raise money so that they can renovate their kitchen. You know, the Atlantic City Rescue Mission has 8 industrial ovens, as we talked about last week on your show. Only one of them is working, yet they're still serving a record number of meals per day. So I'm just pleasantly surprised at how, you know, folks like Mike Gill and Pete Thompson helped me crack the door and really show the type of situation the rescue mission is in, and then how many people helped us bust down that door to really start making a tangible, positive impact.
Now, Dave, for your loot there, your giveaway stuff, do you happen to need a signed baseball from a former Division II backup second baseman?
Well, it's funny, you know, we were looking for that. You know, the person that brings the most toilet paper, I think we were going to give that award. But I mean, listen, all jokes aside, you know, as exciting as it's been around our headquarters in Camden for the Sixers, you know, I had a chance to spend a good deal of time on Thursday with Markelle Fultz, who's just looking incredible, strong, healthy, you know, been around the gym and seen Joel and Ben. And we're so excited in Philadelphia and in Camden for what the future is of the 76ers. I'm really pumped that a small raffle item in this big event on Monday is a chance to come watch us kick off preseason in a Club Bucks suite, as well as win a signed Dario Saric photo. Like, it's just cool to see all of my passions coming together, and we will graciously take that signed baseball from the Division II second baseman.
Dave, how have the players on the Sixers responded to what you're doing? I'm sure you've talked to them a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the players are largely spread around the country, although we do have an incredible number using our new facility in Camden as they prepare for next season. But our guys are really, really good about being vested in the community. It was one of the things that impressed me most. The first day I met Markelle Fultz, when he came to work out for our staff in Camden just a couple of months ago, the first thing he said to me when I asked him, you know, what's your mission beyond basketball? And he said, you know, to pay it forward to kids. He was raised by a single parent, and there was a lot of folks, coaches, mentors, teammates who were there for him. So to see Markelle, and then, you know, last week he went and participated in a summer camp for youth to really empower them and show them how the game had helped him become a better human being. It's really cool to see these guys not lose scale and scope of the journey. I think when you start throwing around some of the numbers that are now in professional sports, you know, the tens of millions of dollars, I could imagine the temptation to just move on and kind of forget how things would be easy, and rightfully so. But for guys like Markelle, for guys like Robert Covington, Rashawn Holmes, TJ McConnell, these guys are constantly involved in the community, and that's a real tip of the cap from me, because I think as busy as their schedules are, they haven't forgotten the journey to get them to where they are today.
Great stuff, as always, Dave. We appreciate you hopping on board. Before we let you go, remind our listeners about Monday and everything that's going on at the Golden Nugget.
Yep, it's this Monday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. 97.3 ESPN will be broadcasting live for the Christmas in July supplies drive benefiting the Atlantic City Rescue Mission. Will be in the atrium of the Golden Nugget, Atlantic City. You bring a supply, whether it's napkins, paper towels, bottled water, toiletries, whatever you can spare. If you bring us a supply, you'll be entered into a raffle to win Sixers tickets, Flyers tickets, Phillies tickets, a signed Eagles football, HBO prizes, UFC prizes, you name it, we've probably got it. It's an incredible event. And Sully, I can't thank you enough for the last 2 weeks in particular of your support. Really pumped to see this all come together.
Awesome stuff, as always, Dave. We appreciate the time, and hopefully there'll be a great turnout there on Monday at the Golden Nugget.
Much appreciated. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You too, man. Thanks. That was Dave Sholler, Communications Director for the Philadelphia 76ers.